Okay, so hello students and good morning. Welcome to daily newspaper analysis of 23rd March. And yes, today I am here with four important articles for you for UPSC prelims. After that, a practice question, and yes, as we do every day, the two places in news. Okay, so what are all topics for today? So first is related to Lokpal because since the parliamentary committee is raising an issue that Lokpal is still not fully functional body. After that, a topic of coal gasification. So it's very important for UPSC prelims because I think in 2025 only a question has been asked on coal gasification. And what is the context? So coal gasification is an important tool for energy security of India. After that, World Water Day, because since 22nd March is celebrated as World Water Day every year. That's why it's important. After that, Patriot missile. So actually, this missile was in news because of West Asia conflict. So these all four topics we'll be discussing. And from today, we'll be doing one thing. First of all, if I'm discussing any topic and if any PYQ is related to that topic, so first of all, I will show you the PYQ. We will read all the statements because after reading PYQ, you will have an idea that what all points I should never forget because if they are already been asked in UPSC, at least these things I must know. And after that, other important points what we shall be discussing. So first of all, we shall be discussing PYQ, if any, related to that topic. After that, important points. And I hope you all are focusing on these places in news which I'm giving every day because no, in this manner, in this interesting manner, you can prepare your geography and mapping questions. So let's start our topic. Okay, so our first topic is related to Lokpal, and here the context is that parliamentary committee has raised an issue that the inquiry and prosecution wings of Lokpal are not yet fully functional. So something has to be done for that. So before discussing everything about the facts, first of all, let's discuss the previous year question. So this is a PYQ and it was asked in 2025. So let's read the question first so that at least these things you should not forget. So first statement is the power of Lokpal applies to public servants of India but not to the Indian servants posted outside India. First statement. The chairman, okay, so this statement is related to power of Lokpal. Second statement is the chairman or a member shall not be member of parliament or member of legislature, and only the Chief Justice of India, whether the incumbent or retired, has to be its chairman. So this statement is related to chair. Third is the chairperson or member shall not be person of less than 45 years of age. So this statement is related to age of the members or chairman. And finally, Lokpal cannot inquire into the allegations of corruption against sitting Prime Minister of India. So basically, this is related to jurisdiction of Lokpal. So can you see in what comprehensive manner UPSC has asked question? So what all facts you read about Lokpal in a book or any document, all those statements UPSC has already asked. So now let's discuss the facts related to Lokpal and please focus on the points which are already asked in the prelims. So first of all, briefly let's discuss the summary. So as we have already discussed, that a parliamentary standing committee has raised concerns related to what? Because Lokpal is not yet fully functional. So the article says although Lokpal Act came into force in 2014, but still Lokpal became fully functional only in 2019. And Lokpal has some wings like the inquiry wing, prosecution wing related to cases which are brought to Lokpal. So all these wings are not fully operational. Since wing is not fully operational, that's why Lokpal is not able to take certain amount of cases into courts. And since these wings, like the inquiry wing and prosecution wing, are not still active, so currently all these cases are handled by CBI, which were supposed to be taken by Lokpal. Another important issue is about the special courts. So the act mentions about the special courts, that there must be special courts to deal with the issues which are brought by the prosecution wing of Lokpal. But since there are no special courts, so and these special courts are yet to be notified, so these cases are currently tried under Prevention of Corruption Act, which were otherwise supposed to be handled under Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act 2013. So these were some of the issues mentioned in the article, and other administrative concerns related to vacancies. So out of 65 posts, 24 out of 65 posts are still vacant. Number of complaints are rising, and inquiry and prosecution wing are not still active. So these are some of the concerns. So as a result, committee recommends that to fill the vacancies, to operationalize inquiry, prosecution wing, etc., etc. So this was the overall gist of the summary. Okay, so now let's discuss prelims related points. Please do focus on these points because again question can be asked from this. So I think I should change the color. Okay, so important points about Lokayuktas, Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act. So first important thing about the selection committee, that who selects the member of Lokpals and Lokayuktas. So selection committee includes Prime Minister, and Prime Minister is the chairperson. First important fact. Second important person is the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Third is leader of opposition in Lok Sabha. Fourth is Chief Justice of India or a judge nominated by Chief Justice of India, and an eminent jurist. Who appoints the eminent jurist? President of India. So overall selection committee has five important members. Who are those members? Prime Minister, who is also the chairperson, Speaker of Lok Sabha, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Chief Justice of India or a judge nominated by him, and one eminent jurist. Now who elects or appoints the eminent jurist? So it is the President of India. So first important point about the selection committee. Second, let's talk about the jurisdiction. So this question on jurisdiction was already asked, that no, it covers Prime Minister or not. So its jurisdiction includes the Prime Minister of India and other members. Who are those? Other ministers, members of Parliament, and Group ABCD government employees. So basically it covers all the government employees and dignitaries. The second point about the jurisdiction. Now coming to the composition. So composition means how many members are there and what are the qualifications or specific things about those members. So it composition have a chairperson and maximum of 8 members. So chairperson plus maximum, at max it must have 8 members. And what is the condition? That out of these chairperson and 8 members, at least 50% of them must be judicial members. This is important thing. At least, no, with half of them, no, at least, not at least, 50% of them must be judicial members, and out of those remaining 50%, the members must belong to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, OBC, minorities, and women. So in this way, this must be the composition. So 50% judicial members, and no, out of those remaining 50%, there must be members of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, OBC, women, and minorities. Now, coming to next part, that is the superintendence. So, important thing here is, no, it has superintendent power over the other investigative agencies. For example, it can ask questions or it can inquire other agencies like Central Bureau of Investigation, that is CBI. So, no, this type of question can also be asked whether Lokpal has the power of superintendence over CBI or not. So, this is important thing. After that, an act, that is Foreign Contribution Act 2010. So this is also important because Lokpal can handle cases under this act also. So if the amount of donation exceeds 10 lakh per year, then it will include the jurisdiction of Lokpal. So these were some of the important points. Now, next point is, see, as the Act says, Lokpal and Lokayukta Act 2013. So it mentions the term Lokayukta institutions also. So Lokayukta institutions are related to state. So the Act says that Lokayukta institution must be established through state legislation within 365 days of the enactment of the Act. But still, some of the states have Lokayukta institutions and some of them do not. Now, again, another important point, while the chairperson of or member cannot be a member of parliament. This is another important thing. Who all can be the members of Lokpal or Lokayukta? Or so first of all, they cannot be member of parliament. Or second, they cannot be member of state legislature. And Chief Justice of India can be a chairperson of Lokpal. So this is another important thing. Who cannot be the chairperson of member of parliament or MLA cannot be the chairperson. And Chief Justice of India can be the chairperson. But it's not like that. CGI can only be the chairperson. It can also be a former Supreme Court judge or an eminent person with specified qualifications. See, don't confuse in that. Here, Prime Minister as the chairperson, we discussed about the selection committee. The selection committee who will select chairperson plus 8 members. Now, the chairperson of actual Lokpal, this was the Prime Minister was the chairperson of the selection committee. Now, if we are talking about the chairperson of Lokpal, so who can be the chairperson? Either Chief Justice of India or former Supreme Court judge or any eminent person. So please note this important thing that it's not like that only CJI can be the chairperson of Lokpal. Now, coming to the age related point, so the chairperson or member, the age limit is 45 years of age. So, chairperson or member, it no, because for some institutions there is different age for chairperson and different age for members. But here, it's the age limit is of 45 years of age. So, they must not be less than 45 years of age on date of assuming the office. Okay, now in 2016, important amendments were made. So let's discuss those amendments also. First important thing was, since in the selection committee, as we discussed, along with Prime Minister and the Speaker of Lok Sabha, there has to be the leader of opposition. But if there is no leader of opposition in the house, then you can say that there is no contribution of opposition in the selection committee. So according to 2016 Act, even if there is no opposition, the leader of largest opposition party in Lok Sabha can take part in the selection committee. See, as we know, before 2014, just a second. Yes. So as we know that before 2024, for over a decade, India did not have a recognized leader of opposition. What was the reason for that? Because no party can secure the required percentage, that is required seats, that is at least 10% of total strength of the house. So at least for to be recognized as the opposition party, the parties must have any party must have at least 55 seats. So finally, after a decade in 2024, we got a leader of opposition because that party could secure around 99 votes. So because of this, only this amendment was made. Because if there is no recognized leader of opposition, there is no contribution of opposition in the Lokpal selection. So it amended that thing that even if we do not have any leader of opposition, so leader of largest opposition party can take part in that. Second important thing, which was also a point of debate, because earlier in 2013 Act, it was mentioned that if, for example, you are going to become a government servant, so after you have assumed the office, within 30 days you have to declare your assets and liabilities. So within 30 days, you were supposed to declare the assets and liabilities, but the Act changed this thing. So now Act eliminated 30 days time frame, and now it depends on the notification of the government, that when the government officials have to declare the assets. So this was the point of the contention also and debate also, because it will give the discretionary power no to government officials. Maybe they will not declare their asset anytime. Limitations of Lokpal and Lokayukta Act, because see because of some of the limitations only parliamentary committee has raised this issue. So let's discuss some of the limitations. So first important is about the lack of independence only. Why? Because if we talk about the selection committee, so we discussed that selection committee has 5 members. In those 5 members, first is Prime Minister of India, second is Speaker of Lok Sabha, and third is the leader of opposition party, fourth is Chief Justice of India, and finally we have distinguished jurist. So see, Prime Minister is from the ruling party. Second, Speaker is from the ruling party. Third, if we talk about, I think who was the third personality? Third, if we talk about The third is the Chief Justice of India. And if we talk about the eminent jurist, so he is also appointed by the president, which is indirectly appointed by the ruling party. So out of 5 members, 3 members is in the favor of government or is in the favor of the ruling party. So in this way, we can say that government has the dominance over the appointment of Lokayukta. Hence, there is lack of independence. Now, second important point is the anonymous complaints are not allowed. For example, if you are putting any complaint before Lokpal or any other authority, so you have to mention your name. You have to reveal your identity. And if you are revealing your identity is getting exposed, then it might be threat to your life also. So that's why it's not very good thing that here anonymous complaints are not allowed. Third is about the limitation of 7 years. So if you are putting any case before Lokpal, no, so that case must not be older than 7 years, because if it's older than that, then no complaint you can file. Next, heavy punishment for false complaints. See, for example, you have any trusted information, trusted news, and you want to put it in front of Lokpal, but you don't have any evidence to prove it. So maybe the authorities can prove that you are no putting false complaints before us. So in that case, also heavy punishment can be charged. So what it will do, it will create a deterrence among the people that maybe they know any trusted news, but they cannot put in front of you because of the lack of evidence. After that, Lokpal cannot initiate an investigation on its own. See, it's not very good thing, because even if the Lokpal knows what all is happening, but if no one is complaining, Lokpal cannot initiate the investigation. So these are some of the limitations related to Lokpal and Lokayukta. And I think this PYQ we have already discussed. So now let's try to answer this PYQ based on the facts we have discussed. So first of all, it says power of Lokpal applies to public servants of India, but not to the Indian public servants posted out of India. See, actually, this statement is wrong. But no, let's discuss other statements which we have discussed. So second is about the chairperson. So it says the chairperson of or a member shall not be member of parliament or MLA. This we have discussed. And only CJI can be its chairman. It's wrong, right? Because we have discussed that not only CJI, former Supreme Court judge or any distinguished jurist can be. So this is wrong. So if two is wrong, this is gone. Third, chairperson shall not be a person of less than of 45 years of age. So this we have read, so this is correct. The third is correct, this is correct. And if even if you don't know statement one, then also doesn't matter, because if third is correct, answer will be A. So in this way, you prepare any topic. First of all, you go through PY2, then you focus on the points. After that, next important topic is about the coal gasification. Okay, so for this coal gasification, first of all, it might be said to first of all, we will discuss the PYQ, because from this topic also PYQ is asked in 2025 only. So it was the recent one. So the question says consider the following substances. So ethanol, nitroglycerin and urea. So question was coal gasification technology can be used in the production of how many of them? So it was very basic question. Even if you read basic things about coal gasification, you will get an idea. Basically, it's asking about the application. So whenever you read any new technology in science and tech or environment, first important thing is you must know its applications, that in what kind of applications it can be used. So here, what was the context? So recently it was discussed by the Minister of Coal that coal gasification is an important step or important tool for strengthening India's energy security. Okay, so let's discuss about the coal gasification. So basically, coal gasification means you have to convert that solid coal into a form of gas, and that gas we call as syngas or synthetic gas. So coal gasification is the process that transforms coal into synthetic gas or syngas. So what will be the composition of syngas? This is also important. It can be directly asked in exam. So what all are the constituents of syngas? So they will be carbon monoxide, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. And out of these five also, what are the most important components? So they are carbon monoxide and hydrogen. So these are very important components of coal gasification. So here also a small application is discussed. So this syngas can be used to produce wide range of products, and they are fertilizers, fuel, solvents, and other kind of synthetic materials. So this was the brief overview of coal gasification. Now let's discuss the process which is involved in the coal gasification. So process. So first of all, what happens now? For example, this is solid coal. Now what we will do, we will crush this solid coal into fine powder or small pieces. Why we are crushing it? Because it is a basic concept of science that if you want to react any element with a second compound, then if you know crush it or create into small pieces, the reaction surface area will increase. So what it will do, it will increase the chemical reaction rate. So that's why the solid coal is first converted into crushed into fine powder. Now, what will happen? This crushed or fine powder will be reacted with oxygen. And please note here, it will be reacted with limited oxygen and steam. So after reacting with the limited oxygen and steam, what will happen? No, the constituents of coal will be converted into syngas. Syngas, which constituents are the carbon monoxide, methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, water vapor, etc., etc. So finally, it will get converted into syngas. Okay, after this, see, it's not like that this syngas we can directly use. Now you have to purify the gas, you have to clean it. So impurities like the sulfur, like no, yes. So impurities like the sulfur, like the other dust particles, like the particulate matters, all these impurities will be removed, and then syngas can be used in the energy generation, textile production, etc., etc. So this is the complete thing, how this overall process works. Now let's discuss the benefits of coal gasification. So first important benefit is the lower emissions. Because since we are not using the solid coal as it is, we are converting it into syngas. So because of this syngas, if we are using syngas in the fuel generation or electricity generation, it will produce very low amount of oxides of sulfur, nitrogen, particulate emissions, etc. What is the reason? Because as we discussed in this process, no, since in this process 3 only we got syngas. But even after getting syngas, we are refining it. So other harmful elements are also eliminated. So first important thing is it has lower emissions. After that, talking about the higher efficiency. So IGCC plants are the plants which work on syngas. So the efficiency of these plants are no higher than the traditional coal plants. So they have efficiency of around 50% and traditional coal plants have efficiency of around 30 to 40%. Now, let's discuss about the byproducts. So, as we know that no, when gas is produced, then we filter that gas or then we refine that gas. So, there are various byproducts like we eliminate the sulfur. So, for example, we capture the sulfur and this sulfur is used commercially. So, what are the applications of sulfur? For example, it can be used in fertilizers or it can be used in the production of rubber, etc., etc. And another byproduct of coal gasification is the slag. So this slag you can use in the construction materials. And finally, the next advantage is the reduced wastage. So because of this coal gasification, uh, around 40 to 50% waste has been reduced. Gasification produce 40 to 50% less solid waste than the traditional combustion, that is coal combustion. So I think PYQ we all yes. So now let's come to PYQ. So see, first option is ethanol. So in applications we discussed about the fuel. So yes, ethanol is correct. Second is about the urea. So we discussed about the fertilizers also. That's why it's also correct. Now coming to nitroglycerin. So maybe you won't have idea about this. Now I am explaining. See, basically nitroglycerin involves glycerin. So here what we do now, nitroglycerin, we do nitrification of glycerin, nitrification. So, glycerin constitutes carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So, in overall production of syngas, nowhere glycerin is produced that we discussed because how syngas is produced, we are crushing the coal, and finally syngas is produced. So in syngas, no element is related to glycerine. So because of that, glycerine cannot be produced with coal gasification. And what is the nitrification? And so in nitrification, we react glycerine with the compounds of nitrogen. So nowhere nitrogen is also produced in syngas. So that's why this statement is wrong. And finally, your option will be B. This is very small article, but yes, the prelims related facts or objective facts can anytime be asked. So context is 22nd March 2026 was celebrated as World Water Day. So let's discuss some of the important facts related to World Water Day. Okay, so first important thing is about the date itself. So World Water Day, when we celebrate it, it's on 22nd March every year. Second important thing is when we started celebrating World Water Day. So it was 1993. Now, what is the history behind? Because why we started it celebrating in 1993? Because the idea of World Water Day was first introduced in 1992. And in 1992, a very important summit took place, and that was Rio Summit, or the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. So, in this Rio Summit, this idea was introduced, and hence, 1 year later, in 1993, we started celebrating World Water Day. Uh, Another important thing is what is the main focus of World Water Day? That is the SDG 6, which is related to water and sanitation by 2030. Another important thing is the theme, because whenever you read about any day or any summit, the theme is very important. Theme of that year is very important. So for 2026, what was the theme? Theme was water and gender. So from prelims related points, because of prelims related points, these are things are important. So don't need to focus anything on detail. Yes. Next article is related to Patriot missile. So first of all, let's discuss the PYQs related to foreign missiles, because Patriot missile is not related to India. So first of all, let's discuss what type of questions can be asked related to foreign missiles. So this is a question of 2018, and it simply asked about a defense system that it is related to which country. So question was, what is thermal high altitude air defense, that is THAAD, sometimes seen in news. So even if you don't know these things like the radar system, anti-missile program, etc., etc., even if you just know the name of country, that it was related to which country, you could have easily answered. So that's why related to foreign missiles, few things are important, which we shall be discussing. And if that missile is of India, then you need to focus on other points also, like what till what altitude it can reach, what is its range, who prepared it, etc., etc. So let's discuss some of the important points related to Patriot air defense missile system. And yes, what was the context? It was in news because of the West Asia conflict. So it's under suspicion because various agencies are suspecting that maybe US operated Patriot missile was involved in the Bahrain blast, which took place recently. So first of all, its full form only. So what does Patriot stands for? It's phased array tracking radar for intercept on target. First important thing. Second is it is surface to air missile defense system. Now it is related to which country? So it is related to United States. It is USA's most advanced air defense system. Now, this system was first time used in 1991 Gulf War, and after that, USA also used it during the invasion in Iraq in 2003. Now, other important things about this missile is it can reach to the maximum altitude of 24 kilometers and hit targets up to 160 kilometers away. And the radar of the system has a range of 150 kilometers. So see, if you are reading about any missile system related to India, for example, you are reading about Prithvi missile or Agni missile. So these ranges, these altitudes, all these things become very, very important. But if you are discussing about any foreign missiles, no, then not many things are important. You can read about basic two, three features and who prepared it. So see, since we are reading in detail, that's why I discussed all these things. Maybe it can help you to eliminate one of the statement in the exam. Okay, now a practice question for you. So the question says, consider the following statements. And first is, Lokpal is an anti-corruption ombudsman established under the Act of Parliament. So I am not asking the Act. I am just asking whether it's statutory body or not. Second statement is, a former Supreme Court judge can be the chairman of Lokpal. Third statement is, the chairman or a member shall not be a person of less than 65 years of age on the date of assuming office as the chairperson or member. Now you have to give me answer in the comment section that which of the above statements are incorrect. So please go through the video once again, read the facts once again, and then please try to answer the question. Now, these are the places which were in news, and you have to look up for the location, and you have to read about the prelims related facts. And if you find, I'm again saying, if you find any very interesting fact, then please write it in the comment section so that other students can also know. So first is about the South Pars, you have to search, and second is about the Golan Heights. And yes, in the previous class, I gave you two news to search for. So first was Gulf of Eilat. So I think we read about Gulf of Suez and Gulf of Aqaba, and this is Sinai Peninsula. So another name of Gulf of Aqaba only is Gulf of Eilat. So this is the Gulf of Eilat, and because of the West Asia conflict, it's in the news. So that's why it might be asked for by UPSC. Second is Sea of Galilee. So first of all, let's look up for the Sea of Galilee location. So yes, this is Israel, and yes, here is the Sea of Galilee. This is Sea of Galilee, and this is Syria. So basically, it's located at the southwestern end of Syria. Okay, so these were the locations. Okay, so I think yes, that's it for today's discussion. And yes, if you have any doubt, then please write it in the comment section. Maybe I will try to make a small video on that topic. And yes, that's all for the discussion. Thank you.